Heading into the finale, that once feel-good show I fell in love with has brutally transformed into its own version of Attack on Titan. And holy shit, does this final battle take it up a notch. But before I get into that, minasan yokoso! Hey everyone, I'm Aaliyah with Beyond the Frame, YouTube's #1 resource for everything behind the scenes of your favorite films, TV shows, and anime. And today, we are talking about the epic finale, My Hero Academia Season 8, Episode 1. In today's video, we're breaking down the controversy surrounding All Might and his battle suit, the reason people are calling Stain a hero, and why the actor behind Deku is saying this season might be the most intense thing he's ever done. So let's get into it. As we're literally watching All Might give it everything he has, who better to witness that moment than Stain, the man who reshaped MHA with his infamous ideology of what it means to be a hero. The reason this moment is so remarkable is because of Stain's philosophy that true heroes must be selfless, acting solely for the greater good. In his eyes, a true hero must reject money, fame, and recognition. Those who lack true conviction and commitment to saving others are not worthy of being called heroes, hence his extreme actions to purify the hero society, allowing heroes like All Might and Deku to shine. But here's where things get interesting. Fans have always been split on Stain's actions throughout the series. In this particular case, many argue that he is staying true to his beliefs by standing with All Might, but others claim that this does not redeem his previous actions nor justify his killing of other heroes based on his own moral compass. It's that same moral gray space that keeps us fascinated thanks to shows like MHA Vigilantes or even Batman, for example, which is something I personally love to see, especially in villains. But one thing I will say is that when it comes to character writing, those who stand by their convictions and beliefs are characters we continue to talk about long after a show has ended. But pivoting back to All Might, this dude is wild! After everything he's been through, he's earned the right to rest and recover from the battlefield, but as we all know, that's just not who he is. He pulls out this insane badass All Might Iron Man suit to give it everything he's got. But this is where the story transforms into something greater, a battle against time itself. Although it's not just time, it's All Might himself. He's literally fighting to prove that his story isn't over, that his former self doesn't control him, and that no matter what happens, his strength, his age, and his past regrets will not stop him from carrying the weight of being a hero. And to me, that is why he resonates so deeply in the show. Now, returning to the video, just when we think All for One can't get any more terrifying, the creator Horikoshi-san kicks us in the gut with the rewind effect. All for One's body literally starts rewinding back to his youth. It's as visually unsettling as it is symbolic. The more All for One spirals out of control, the more he regresses into a twisted version of his past self. And here's where we see the root of the problem. Some fans see this as poetic irony. All Might, who is older and quirkless, willingly chooses to move forward with nothing but pure will. Whereas All for One, someone completely blinded by power, is regressing and moving backwards. The creator shows us the deep contrast between humanity and legacy in My Hero, two themes we've seen since the very beginning. But others aren't buying it. To them, this de-aging feels like a cheap gimmick, a narrative shortcut to stretch out All for One's threat level when the story was already at its peak. But I think what makes this so interesting is that it forces us to look at the core of their rivalry. All Might embracing the reality of passing the torch, allowing his legacy to live on through the next generation, whereas All for One desperately clings to his power almost like a greedy child who says, if I can't have it, then no one can. And speaking of a child, this episode made sure to highlight All Might's humble beginnings. We see a quirkless, desperate young man begging Nana Shimura to let him be her student, which again reminds us of the similarities between Deku and All Might. Horikoshi-san paints the picture that a child's deep desire for peace is a powerful thing. But with all that said, this final battle has opened the door for a lot of division amongst fans. The first argument I'll bring up is All Might versus the most dangerous villain alive. How believable was that fight? For some, it was the perfect payoff, giving All Might his redemption moment while reminding everyone why he is the ultimate symbol. The other side argues that this fight strains logic by bending the rules to allow All Might one last hurrah. Now, while I hear what they're saying, I would like to mention Iron Man is able to hold his own against the Avengers. But these debates don't have a clear answer, and that's probably the point. My Hero has always thrived in the gray space where conviction clashes with contradiction, and heroes realize just how similar they are to villains. Okay. I know that was a bit heavy, so to make sure we end on a lighter note, here are a few fun trivia facts I learned about Season 8. The creator, Horikoshi-san, shared that a character like Stain was a ridiculously hard thing to pull off. Stain is the reason for the major shift in the story and directly contrasted the top heroes, perfectly capturing the moral problems and corruption within the hero society. In an interview, the Japanese actor behind Midoriya, Daiki Yamashita shared that Season 8 was very intense due to the recording booths holding 10 to 20 actors all screaming at the top of their lungs in order to capture the insanity of this final battle. I'm Aaliyah with Beyond the Frame, My Hero Academia. Are we in? Are we out? What do we think? Let me know. This show will always have a special place in my heart, and I'm so thankful I got to read both the manga as well as watch the anime in real time. Also, if you want to dive into My Hero Academia Vigilantes, then check out the video I made dedicated to the behind the scenes of Season 1. There was so much controversy with fans becoming deeply divided about anime censorship, fan service, sexual exploitation, and more, so definitely let me know what you think about that. And as many of you already know, I'm an anime nerd with a fascination for trivia. Thanks for watching, and remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Ja, mata ne!